All right, people, this is going to be, actually, it's part 7 of the uh, heavy shell artillery, or it could stand alone by itself. I may modify this just to so it could stand by itself too, because I'm just going to have to cover a lot of the points in here, but I'll give you a breakdown and how they're, these shills, how they're being ordered to, what seems, off the top of my head, it seems to be as if they're, what they're doing. It's very dangerous. This seems to be their biggest weapon. They're trying to push the agenda, people, of fear. Within this contract I keep telling you about, it seems like, it seems, hypothetically speaking, off the top of my head, just my opinion, could be, maybe, possibly, for legal reasons, okay. It seems like it seems like they have rules, regulations, and parameters and everything as well within their own cult. What, I'm sorry, culture. God. That they have to stay within. If you ever saw the John Gotti story, I think it was Armando Santos' beautiful movie, and Anthony, I think his name was Anthony Quinn. He kept saying, John, there's rules, We got, rules, parameters. If we go outside of these, this whole quote unquote thing of ours, and crumble. And it's very true, But anyway, that's kind of as far as what I can see. And I mean, let's just say there's quite a bit of things that you can line up in a row, and they usually stay within one or the other, because I can't seem to find anything outside of those borderlines, and they have to stay within them. That's what it seems like. So anyway, and as far as the breakdown goes, it's because it's getting complicated, people. It's their biggest weapon, and they're using them in mass. There was this big deployment that went out not too long ago, and they're using everyone every which way but loose, as they say. You're gonna have 80-20, 90-10, 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, however you want to say it. Truth to lies ratio. Because I listen to quite a bit of them, and they will, what I call, try to get you in the car with them. So they'll usually unload a lot of truth up front. Once they have you and you trust, then they will steer you just enough, and that last 10% will be in the wrong direction to keep you away from what they want to keep you away from, which is usually either monies or something that you're supposed to have, or resources that you're supposed to have. They're trying to keep you away from, so they can go steal them later. Or they're trying to keep you away from some kind of, like, let's just for example, like alchemical power, esoterical power, spiritual warfare type of power, and anything that would, it does two things. Number one, it would give you power, and number two, it would pretty much paint them in the true light, that as to what they really are. I'll give you one more thing here that it just, I think it irks anybody, but it just seems, this is hypothetically speaking, off the top of my head, of course, maybe, possibly, could be. It seems like whatever powerful symbol they come across, whatever powerful way of doing things they come across, and I'm going back from through their history, man. Oh my gosh, that number's all powerful. Well, we got to make that our official number too. You know, they all do that. You know, I'm sure things like magnetism, electricity, and all, you know, this symbol and that symbol, and they did. I mean, there's even documented proof of it. You know, existed way before a lot of these, you know, I guess what's the best way to describe it? Before a lot of these cults, culture groups, you know, were way before. I mean, since the Earth was here, in other words, almost. Our Mother Gaia, or TERRA, or however you wish to refer to it, ever since it was, almost ever since it was here. But then it's all powerful. Oh, okay. Well, we got to make that our things, you know. So we'll be all powerful too, like that, and we'll say it's all ours, you know. I mean, I'm sure those of you who know what I'm talking about. Well, we'll change our name from Clower to with a, you know, Clower with a AUER to a Clower with a CLOWER, if it makes it seem any more scary or powerful. Oh no, forget that. We found something else today. So we're going to call ourselves the Cough Wilds, you know, and the Cough Wild family. And if at first you go with a KAWGH and then you want to go with a COFF, well then, you know, whatever makes you seem most awesome, you know. That is what just about every, as any good investigator knows, just about every criminal group does it. The only problem is, you know, and this is just what it seems like, but it's the truth, you know. But it just seems, you know, like unfortunately this time, you know, it's this particular one has, well, let's just say a little more clout and control than I think not only most of us, but just about all of us would like to see them not have, because they are just, they've changed it from a use to an abuse, and they're using it, and it's just unethical. It's not right, and quite frankly, it's just against the law. Ethical law, creational law, universal law, constitutional or state, it doesn't matter. It's just wrong. Okay, so this is one thing I was trying to get out yesterday too. So to continue on really quick here. Also, you can catch them when they change over sides. Remember this, people. Shills are never in the best interest of the American people, or of the good people, the good hearts of, you know, either America or the world or whatever, are never in the best interest, and they don't cheer with them. They don't stand in their cheering section. And I caught 2 of them yesterday. So I've put those particular ones on my list that I have, and I don't know quite yet how I can communicate that to you. I'm thinking about it, but all I can do is, which is the best way to do it anyway, is to teach you how to decipher them for yourself. I caught one, let's say, he was describing the situation in Miami, and then he would, on one particular segment he made, he said, you know, well, you know, and he really will sound like he's on your side. You have to be careful. You know, he'll sound like he's on your side. He's like, you know, you know, they'll even throw name calling around, and they tell them to do that. You know, you know, government, blah blah blah, and they'll call them names and stuff. You know, they got to understand. You know, we're the people, da da da. So you know, but he was telling everybody to get out of Miami, get out of Miami. You know, just don't you know, don't mess with that. Don't screw with that. Just get out of Miami, people, because it's going to be in your best interest. It's the safest for you, and this and that. Well, you know, this already, as I mean, because I've known what this end game has been for a long time. Most people think they do, but you know, I don't. Oh yeah, that's got to be it. No, I don't do that. I go by what I've always gone by, which is a process of elimination. I can't tell you what I used to do, but well, let me continue with this. So he was urging everybody to get out of Miami. Then he turns around on another segment and he says, you know, like he's pissed at the people almost. He's like, I tried to tell you people, you know, get out of there. They say there's so many people there in Miami that just stayed in their houses, and you know why? Well, for one thing, as I saw 2 other reports on that used live cams, while you know, our darling mainstream media, don't get me started on that one. Or as there's all this debris flying around, and the news guy was almost getting hit with stuff, and to tell you the truth, it looked like somebody was throwing stuff at him. That's how bad it was. You know, I mean, yes, there was wind blowing, but I mean, it looked like it was, because like, just think about it. Come on, people. I'm not so much talking, you know, directly to you, but at the end. Okay, perfect. 1, 2, 3 things just happened to fly right at that guy's head, over the guy's head. So he has to duck. Oh, and to add, while they're rolling the camera, as he's making his report. Yeah, that's believable. Jesus. Anyway, I think the worst thing that could probably happen is they want me to try to tell them what to do and wrong. I have to kind of be careful too, because I don't want to give them too much so that they'll know what to correct. So I don't usually mention the heavy stuff, but I mean, it's stuff that you need to know. But anyway, so he was pissed at the people for not leaving their houses, and he said, I tried to tell you people, but you guys are obviously staying there, so, you know, whatever, you know, I'm done, whatever, you know. That is a huge red flag, people. When they get like that, that is a 100% bona fide shill. And I'll come back and I'll tell you about the second one that I busted, but which didn't have anything to do with Miami. But this one is, I'll give you the other characteristics of him too. I did yesterday, but I'll give you the other characteristics of him too. And I'll come back in part 8 here.